What's up, guys? Hope everybody's staying safe, not going too crazy. You just watched me crush a can due to sheer boredom. I miss being able to do science experiments with you guys. I miss seeing your faces. But, the right thing to do right now is stay inside, help prevent the spread of this disease, and do what we can using video and stuff. So, hopefully, you guys had a chance to explore some of the learning activities that were posted last week. Me and Miss Elaine are going to try to post one video each week that has some stuff for you guys to learn about and some opportunities for you guys to do some science experiments yourselves at home if you want. So this will be the first one. We're going to kick it off with Miss Elena talking about some of the concepts, and then we'll get right into the instructions, okay? Hope to see you guys soon.
Hello, my lovelies. It's nice to talk to all of you in this very odd format. But just to check in a little bit, I am doing okay. Um, Both my parents and my sister and my brother and my two pups were all cooped up in the house together, so things have been a little weird, to be quite honest. Yeah, I've been doing a lot of homework, so my classes got moved online. Um, and just trying to stay sane with lots of exercise, right? It's important to get the brain pumping and all that good stuff. Um, Also, lots of watching movies. Disney. Lots of Disney movies. Um, anyway, Mr. Paul and I have decided to try to do some fun learning experiences with you guys. And we are going to be talking about gases. And I think at this point, Mr. Paul will have already covered pressure. So I'm going to talk very, very briefly about temperature, right? So all of these things are properties of gases. Just give me a second to convert to the whiteboard. Oh, and there we go. So I'm particularly going to talk about temperature. So you guys might know temperature, or let's not say normal definition, let's say common definition. You guys may know temperature as, ooh, nope. Still getting used to this, guys. All right. Okay. So you guys may know temperature as a measure. Draw as a measure of how hot or cold something is. Right? So that's the common definition. But we want to invite you guys to think a little bit deeper, especially when we're talking about gas particles, right? So atoms, molecules, right? When we think about it in terms of that, temperature is really a measure of the average kinetic energy of the gas particles, right? So what does that mean? Well, kinetic means movement. So when we're talking about the kinetic energy of the gas particles, we're talking about how much movement.
I like to move it, move it. I like to move it, move it. You like to move it. I like to move it, move it.
The gas particles are doing. So the more they move, the more kinetic energy they have, the higher the temperature will be, right? So I want you guys to think about when you're doing some physical exercise, right? So hopefully in this crazy time, you guys are spending at least an hour a day getting some exercise in, right? when you do more exercise, when you do more movement, your temperature goes up, right? And that's because all of the particles in your body, all of the molecules, the water molecules, the blood molecules, all those molecules are doing more work, like more energy. And so you're getting hotter, which is why we get physically warmer when we move more, right? It's the same idea with gas particles. So the more gas particles move, the more kinetic energy they have, and therefore the higher the temperature will be. Okay, so that's kind of the idea of temperature, and that's pretty much it. And I'm gonna pass it off to Mr. Paul again. Anyway, guys, stay safe, and hopefully we'll get to check in this week or next week. And please let me know if you ever want to chat. Okay. Bye. I don't know how to pause this. How do we? Okay, pause. Nope.
So this first lesson we're going to talk about is gases. And when it comes to gases, there's really three things that we want to keep in mind. One is the volume. One is the pressure. And one's the temperature. So if we think of that can that I just crushed, at the start, it was hot. And at the end, it was a cold, crushed can because I dumped it in some ice. What else changed about it? If we think about the volume and the pressure, those are the two factors that caused it to crush. I didn't crush it with force. It was crushed just due to some other changes in its situation. So there are some gas laws that we can use to predict and measure and calculate, and we're going to get into those in detail. But for today, I'm just going to talk about what volume and pressure mean, and then we'll give you guys an experiment to try at home. So volume, you probably know from math class, is how much space something takes up. So if we have a rectangle like that, if you do its length times its width times its height, that'll tell you how much volume that 3D rectangle thing has. So yeah, it's just a simple measure of how big something is in terms of how much space it takes up. Pressure is a little trickier to understand. When we think of facing something or feeling the pressure, it's like a force. So in terms of gas, I'm going to draw two balloons side by side. A balloon that's under a lot of pressure, or in a situation with a lot of pressure, the gas particles are bouncing very rapidly off of the sides of the balloon, so it might feel like it's about to burst. If you blow up the balloon, really inflate it to the max, you're putting a lot of pressure inside the balloon. If there's less particles moving slower, they're not going to collide with the walls of the balloon that often, so this would be high pressure, and this would be low pressure. Bring that up. So that's a starting place for thinking about those. Next week, we'll get into some formulas that deal with those called the ideal gas laws. For today, we're just going to have you guys try an experiment. The instructions are in your email. You can either do the can one like I did, or you can do a little bit simpler one with the balloon. And we encourage you guys to share those quick videos of yourself showing your results and talking about them. I'll post those on a shared site where we can all look at them. It'll be good to reconnect. And I hope to hear from you guys soon. Peace.